Hi everyone, so I'm back. I am going to attempt to do another video and show you how I created this journal cover. Yesterday, or the video prior, depends on when you watch the videos, I showed you how I made this, and I had lots of questions about the cardstock. I just use Basil premium paper cardstock, but really you can use anything. This just happens to be what I used with this. A lot of times I will use, for my journal covers, file folders, and I'll get the heavy duty file folders from Staples. Pretty nice. And then also I will just use plain paper. And this is just flimsy decorative paper, but then I go back and either use cardstock to enforce it to make it more sturdy, or I will use the chipboard that I get over at Michael's or anywhere. Another question was asked if I put anything on this, and I hadn't. The paper is just naturally shiny, or it's not even shiny, it's just the light is picking up all the detailed embossing on here. But after reading that, I ran another one through and I used Prima's Wax Bronze Age, and look how pretty that is. So here's what I did yesterday. Look how fun that's going to be. I have a feeling I'm going to put that on there. Maybe even a darker brown. I don't know. All right. So back to this project. I'm afraid I'm going to jump all over. I'm so excited. I'm just like thrilled with the response that everybody had with these journal covers. Making this journal. Someone had asked me, how did I come up with this idea? I love using the punches that I have, and the punches that I use for this project is the Martha Stewart, and I really don't even know what the names are. There's nothing stamped on the back of these, but they store nicely. So I use this one and this one. And they fold out. I had made this journal cover earlier with a messy stitch in, and I used the same punch for the spine. And I love using my punches. Here's a different one. Where is this one? All right. Oh, here it is. It's another Martha Stewart. So I used this one, and this was the same paper line, so it was just kind of flimsy paper. But with this one, I've already done the inside and made it a little more sturdier by using the cardstock, the leftover cardstock from this project. So, I tell you, my mind is going every direction, so please, I apologize, and please be patient with me. I was thinking about, I'm going to be doing another one similar, using the same punch, but to my left, which you cannot see, is kind of a mess, kind of a pile of different ideas laying around, and so I'm looking over there and I see the project that my dear friend Eva Zakova had showed us how to make the corset. So when I was watching her video, as I'm watching it, this is what I sat down and did. So this was just a rough draft. This is just trying to follow along, and I loved it. And so that's laying on the side beside me. And also what is laying beside me is, okay, that one was the protocol. This one was like the real deal. I don't know if you know from my other videos, but I'm also a photographer, and I'm very fortunate. I'm so lucky that I live not too far from Yellowstone. And this is actually one of my photographs that I took, and then I manipulated it and turned it into this art piece. And I wanted to implement Eva's amazing structure of her journal. And so that is laying beside me. I'm looking at that. This is going to be the insides. I know I'm rambling. I'm sorry. So, this is laying beside me, and I'm like, oh, right, I need to stitch that. Maybe I can do that when I go to my little retreat with Gail in 2 days. Well, I'm thinking of that. I'm looking at this punch, looking at this journal cover that I already did, and I decided that I wonder if I could just punch on both sides and do the corners and do the stitching. And really, that's where the idea came from. So, long story short, extra long, I'm going to show you how I did this. I decided that this is the color scheme I'm going to work on. What I have already done was cut my 12 by 12 paper, and this is basil paper. It is a cardstock, and I wish I could tell you what the weight is, but it's a pretty nice little cardstock. I think it's average for cardstock as in weight size. I will score it at 5, 25, and 675. And with this, I'm going to cut it to size. And what I learned that what I'll do, and how I figured this out, maybe I should show you this. After me punching this, I measured what this distance was on both sides. So it ends up being just a little bit more than an inch. So what I'm going to do is cut this about an inch and a couple little dots twice. This is one of Tim Holtz's Tunic Studios. I have a couple different mats. I love this. It does not keep my crap from crowding me like they kind of hoped that it would, but that's just me. So what I'm going to do is measure the center, line it up, kind of eyeball it. I don't even use a ruler. Kind of eyeball it where that is in the center. So these are my two pieces. And knowing that this is in the middle, I kind of like I said, just kind of eyeball it. It doesn't matter. I mark it on both sides. That way, when I start punching, okay, I should not move that. I know where to line up. I don't know if you can see that. So I have this little mark, and I'm gonna line it up with this mark. And it's okay if it's not exact. And since I have this punch out, I'm already gonna go with the second one. and go for the other side. So I'm going to line that up in the middle. And I am going to kind of have to guess because I'm going to have to move the paper out of the view of the center line. As long as I keep it in space, that's all that matters. Now that I have that completed, I will score it so it will fit on our cover. Now the fun part. So that's going to fit like that. And oh, I'm really going to love these colors together. Pretty. What I think I'm going to do next is ink the edges just a little bit. I am going to grab my double-sided tape, and I am actually going to adhere this side. This side is going to be tightened with the strings, embossing floss. Is that what that's called? So that's what I'm going to do with that. Right, so what I do next, I make sure that is placed where I want it. And while it's in place, I'm going to just lift this up on the back side. I'm holding it down with pressure, and I'm going to just slip that double-sided plastic part off. One side to go. There we go. Isn't that beautiful? I have two different kinds of embroidery thread. That's what it is, not embossing thread, embroidery thread that I need to choose. I don't know if I want to do like this blue and green kind of, or a darker. Yep, I'm gonna go with the green. I'm just gonna guess how much I need. It's better to have too much than not enough. I won't bore you with the sewing part, and I just kind of played with different stitches when I made this. I think I'm going to do the same. I like that the center of the journal was here, and that really determined of my spacing, so I knew I had to go to every 4. And I love having a couple bars on the side. It just kind of add a little interest. And I'm going to do the same design on this one. There. We did it! Here's another journal cover. I hope this helped you. I love the color scheme that we got going on there. It looks just as impressive as this one. But I want to thank you so much for tuning in, and once again, thank you so much for all the kind compliments and all the wonderful questions. And truly, if there's any other questions I didn't cover, because I'm in my mind and I'm not used to talking in the studio by myself, but If there's something that I did not cover, please ask me, and I will get back to you. I nearly forgot. I want to tell you guys how much I appreciate you asking for a tutorial and interested in my work. So if you have subscribed to my channel and you leave a comment, I am going to have a drawing for these 2 journals that I would have not have made if you had not requested for a tutorial. Oh, you know what? Make that 3. I'll finish this one and it'll be 3 journals that I'll raffle off. And once again, thank you so much. You have truly made my soul happy.